But okay, let's just watch this trailer together really quick. I've seen this video many times and it still gives me chills. Yeah, honestly, great trailer. They did a really good job. The music hits different too. If you guys haven't seen it yet, here it is.
And protected our city by following traditional paths. Me? I made my own.
Introducing Kiriko!
Some of the new. Okitsune-sama.
Healing Ofuda.
Much better.
Okay, you know what? Let's actually break this down as it goes on. So let me find the ability breakdown image really quick. Okay, so what you saw here, like this. Let's break this down for you. How's it laggy? Is it lagging for you?
Why my people all wall climbers? Please. We climb ceilings, too. Please buff Shimadas.
Please buff Shimadas. What? Listen, she okay, there's also... I actually don't think she's Hanzo and Genji's cousin. Her mom is the one who trained Hanzo and Genji, and she just grew up with them, and then she learned, like, the wall climbing shit. But even Aaron Keller said she's their cousin. But I don't even know, man. I'm a little lost now. Whatever. They're closely related. That's all we're gonna say. Okay. Okay, so do you see how these papers, do you see how some are blue and some are yellow? You see that? Okay. So that's called her healing Ofuda. This is her primary fire. Or her, could be her primary or secondary. I honestly forgot which mouse button it was on, but in any case, those are called healing Ofudas, which is a burst of healing talismans, or those papers that seeks targeted allies. So as long as you aim in the general vicinity, if it's yellow, that means it's tracking them and it will connect on the heal. If it's blue, that means you missed or they broke the effective seeking range and you're actually gonna miss the heals. Does that make any sense? So it's not like breakback. So these two missed. These are not gonna hit her. These are not gonna heal your Genji. These ones hit though. So you just hold the button down and then the papers will just chase the person that's within like where your crosshairs are. So again, if the Genji obviously moved way past your crosshair, the papers become blue, you missed the heal. As long as it's yellow, it means it's locking on and it will follow them, okay? That's number one. How much ammo? I believe, don't quote me on this because things could change. I think she had 6. 6 or 8, I can't remember now. Okay. That is her damage button. These are called... Okay, they only showed it for like 1 second. Simple, but this is her damage. This is her secondary fire. Primary fire. So healing Ofuda is probably her primary. And then kunai secondary or vice versa. Why is this the wrong image? Where's the bigger one? Oh, here it is. Okay, so that's the kunai. Thrown projectile that deals increased critical damage. So... with the word increased critical damage, this is a higher headshot multiplier than Widowmaker. If I remember correctly, it is 3x the damage for a headshot. 40 damage if the kunai hits the body, 120 if it hits the head. That seems kind of ridiculous right now, but then you remember a Zenyatta discorded headshot does 120 as well. Okay, that's number one. Number two, this kunai hitbox is really small. It is very tiny. It's like a hit scan bullet. It's a single kunai and she chucks it at a really slow tempo. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4. And Zen is like pew, 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 pew. I think Zenyatta shoots at 2x her rate. Think about it that way. So it's like, bing, it's a projectile, but the hitbox of the kunai is really small. So when you 1v1 someone, like it's actually very difficult to hit these. It sounds kind of ridiculous with 120 on the head, but again, put it into perspective of Zenyatta, where the orb of Zen is actually a bigger hitbox, or like Hanzo projectiles. All those hitboxes of all projectiles in the game, Junkrat, Pharah, all those are big, fat, and juicy, and if it touches any part of hitbox, it hits. For her kunais, it's hard. It's small. I saw SK's tweet where SK 1v1 ML7 in a skirmish while they were waiting for a match, and they had to reload 3 times before they even killed each other because it's really hard to hit these kunais. Yeah, it's like ting, ting. That's about the pace of a Lucio primary. Obviously, Lucio shoots 4, but it's like bum, 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 bum. But it's a single kunai. Boom, boom, boom. So, yeah. Kind of hard hit like a wingman shot, sure. We'll put it that way. A wingman's not that bad. Come on now. Okay, so that's number 2. This ability... Okay, that's the most ridiculous part of her kit, in my opinion. So, yes, you can teleport to any ally behind walls with the max range of 35 meters. It was somewhere between 30 and 40. I saw on Twitter people confirmed it's 35 meters. So, really interesting play. If you see they're in danger, you can teleport to them instantly. You just click. You'll see a little like hitbox icon when they're within your crosshair, and you just press the button. Boom, you teleport. There's a little bit of a delay animation, appearance animation, but it's not too bad. It's nowhere near as slow as Reaper's teleport, we'll put it that way. Alright, and that's the healing papers, doing some damage.
Come on, Shimaba.
Wall climb passive. Yup. Okay, so here's what people were getting a little frustrated at. So this ability, right here, boom. It's 0.75 seconds of invulnerability and cleanse. That is called the protection Suzu. Upon impact, allies in the area become briefly invulnerable and are cleansed of most negative effects. This one has the biggest kind of discussion on social media because obviously the first thing people say is immortality. They don't want another Baptiste. Baptiste's immortality lasts like what, 5 seconds? It's kind of nuts. This one's actually a lot harder to get value with because the timing window is 0.75 seconds. So a lot of people will use it to obviously cleanse that Junker Queen ultimate that just happened right there. But I think the biggest problem with Protection Suzu, or not problem, but biggest counterplay, is that because it cleanses and makes people invulnerable for that 0.75 seconds, you actually can mitigate stuff like Sombra's EMP. Like Sombra can EMP, but if you throw the Suzu down on your team and you're in that glowy white phase, as soon as EMP hits, EMP will do 0 damage and will not hack anybody. It's a small window though, so you don't want to get it baited. Same with Reinhardt Earth Shatter. If Ryan wants to shatter, you throw the Suzu down, they don't get knocked down and they don't take damage. So it is kind of strong if you can land it, but it's a very small window. Again, we only played it for like 4 hours at the summit, so it's hard to say the impact, but the window is kind of small. I'm sure over time people will get more skilled with her and they'll figure out how to counter it. But at the same time, like, you know how Zenyatta's and Sombras have evolved over time? Can the Sombra bait out the Transcendence by throwing the Translocator up? Can Ryan walk up and look like he's about to shatter, drop a shield and hop forward? And then, you know, will the Kiriko panic and throw the Suzu down a little early? So there is like counterplay to it in a sense, but it is pretty powerful. And then you'll obviously see an example here. Junkrat Riptire coming out. Time the Suzu, boom, you're invulnerable. You will survive. Miss the window, you're dead. So as a Junkrat player, honestly, it's pretty easy to outskill this. You roll the tire into them, make a circle around them, wait for her to bait out the thing, and then pop the tire. It's the same concept with Baptiste's immortality field, except Bap can lamp early and it lasts 5 freaking seconds. So like the Junkrat can get close, and then if the thing lamps, you have to wait for somebody on the enemy team to destroy it. But yeah. The tire is super easy to bait, yeah. Okay. And now this is her ultimate. Kitsune Rush. Summons the Fox Spirit. Goes in a certain distance. Fixed distance. It's pretty far. I'd say 15 meters. And anybody who's underneath it gets speed boost. Attack speed 2x. And cooldowns are enhanced. I don't remember the exact amount. The biggest thing is shorter cooldown. So what I ended up testing was that if I use my Protection Suzu, I think it's like a 15 or 20 second cooldown on that in cleanse / invulnerability. If you use it first and then you throw down the gates, your Suzu can be used again mid-ult and then used again as soon as the ult ends. So you can actually use 3 invulnerabilities within a span of like 10 seconds. This ultimate lasts about 10 seconds, by the way. But because of the 2x cooldown acceleration, you can use your Protection Suzu 3 times as long as you're standing in it to accelerate your cooldowns. That's the biggest thing that not too many people talked about, but the cooldown reduction is honestly game-changing, in my opinion. Same with attack speed. Attack speed can change a lot of breakpoints. So, If you're curious on one of the best combos with this, it's probably Bastion. Because the Kitsune Rush offsets 2 of Bastion's biggest weaknesses, right? Kitsune Rush. Summon a fox bear that rushes forward, accelerating the movement, attack speed, and cooldowns of all allies that follow its path. Because you cover Bastion's 2 biggest weaknesses, which is movement speed, because obviously he's a bit slower when he's in sentry form, so now he can move quick, and then 2x fire rate. Brrr, insane. Insane. However, you can actually miss your ultimate, chat. What do I mean by that? It has to be, as far as I remember from my playtest, it has to be on a single flat surface. Maybe there's a little bit of leeway if it's going up a ramp. But I remember, like, let's say I turned a little bit and I casted my ultimate against this wall. As soon as the blue lines hit this wall, it stops. It won't, like, travel. It won't, like, go over big terrain, if that makes any sense. This is not a projectile. Diva cannot eat this. So if you're on high ground and you throw your ultimate, like, in the middle of a team fight really quickly, and there's, like, a piece of wall or, like, a piece of cover obstructing the gates, it'll stop. So you can have like really short ultimate, which is not good. And you always have to be standing in there to get the benefit. It's kind of like Baptiste window. If people are like breaking line of sight of your gates using natural cover, like as soon as they like go out of the buffed area to kind of like follow you, they don't get the buff anymore. So there is like a little bit of you know, balance in that sense. Right? Do the buffs apply on herself? Yes, that's what I was saying. So that's why she can have 3 protection Suzus, or the invulnerabilities, as long as she stands in there. With Tracer, blink, recharge, and alt, you can go in there and recharge it, yes, but then like, you know, but if you're blinking out to do damage, you know, you won't get the accelerated cooldown once you blink out of it. You always have to be standing in there to get the buff. But the biggest thing that I noticed for this was, again, the fact that it doesn't go through terrain. At least big terrain. Don't quote me on that completely, but yes. I think it can still go upstairs and downstairs on like slow, slopey ramps. But I think an electrical box might block it, but I'll have to see. But definitely like this terrain, do you see this this little ledge? If I slightly aim this ultimate to my left, it won't go anywhere. So you really have to know your map before you just check out this ultimate, okay? So if they Maywall it, I actually did not test the Maywall interaction, so that's actually something I'll do on day 1. Yeah, so no hallways or choke points. So if you use your ultimate in like a closed area, it's actually pretty hard to get value because they're gonna walk out of it. Unless they walk out of it, like you use your Kitsune Rush in a small room and you're able to like get an angle and stay there and just utilize it, sure. This ultimate is 10 seconds. 10-second duration. I don't know what the cooldown, or sorry, the cooldown, what am I saying? It didn't seem too hard to build up the ultimate charge. Okay, it is a long one. It is a long cooldown. Or sorry, a long duration, but it's in one area. Wall climb, teleport. This is a long distance. I talked about the Kitsune Rush, healing Ofuda, Suzu, and then Kunai. Actually, I take it back. It felt like I was actually building her ultimate kind of slow, because the thing about her is like she's got a lot of utility with like the invulnerability and the teleport and wall climb and movement on herself, but she doesn't do one thing particularly well. She's got a little bit of Zenyatta damage with 120 on the headshot, but it's harder, it's slower. Your DPS is definitely lower than Zen, and her healing Ofuda is kind of like meh. She's definitely not a main healer. She'll get out-healed by Ana, she'll get out-healed by Moira, she'll get out-healed by Baptiste easily. So she's kind of like jack of all trades, but not really a master of one. But I guess her master is like, her master skill is the movement and utility. So I'm sure like over time people get really good with her. Now I'll take questions and answer anything you guys have about her kit and my experiences with her. So go ahead. What healing combo good? So a lot of people were saying Lucio Kiriko, but honestly, I think if you're gonna run a Lucio fast comp, you might as well just play it with Brig, as we've seen. The speed is only on her ultimate. Her ultimate takes a long time to build. I actually feel like you're better off just playing Lucio Brig. If you're gonna play Rush or like Lucio Bap, I wouldn't play her and Lucio. I feel like she actually works better with a bit of a slower comp. Just my opinion though, I could be totally wrong. I actually liked playing her with Mercy, was my one experience, and I feel like she could work with Baptiste pretty well. She does a little bit of everything if you can time your abilities and hit them in the head. She's strong because she does a bit of everything, but she doesn't do anything particularly well on its own. I think her and Zen could be okay too, but then you're gonna have a pretty low healing composition. I'm just saying, you can't throw your kunai or heal at the same time. You either have to do one or the other. You know, kind of like Reinhardt, you either have to shield or you swing. She can't like chuck kunais while healing. She has to pick one. So if she's stuck on healing duty because your team is getting tempoed and rushed down, her healing output is actually not high enough to sustain like a Rein comp, for example, on her own. But if you play like a really fast comp that doesn't require too many resources, like Ball or something like that, it could work. Yes, you could recharge res and Torii gates. That's one of the things, the interactions I was going to say. Because the cooldowns are accelerated, you can get a res off with Mercy and then accelerate her res to res again. I think this hero is one of the best artwork. Yes. Can Genji deflect anything? She can deflect the kunai. I haven't checked her protection Suzu if she can deflect that. If you can deflect that. Did I beat Kingdom Hearts? No. She's mostly like a flex support. And heroes paired well with her are ones, I would say, for supports, try Bap and Mercy, and even Ana for now. Okay, any questions? The effects say they're immortal and cleanses, so they're not invincible during it, as in they take no damage. So they actually take no damage, and they can't be CC'd in that 0.75 seconds. For the protection Suzu. Hi, Mr. KarQ, hi. What can Genji deflect? Oh, I tried. I think kunai only, but I'll have to check Suzu. What comp would you run with her? That's a good question. If I had to come up with a comp based on what I remember, probably Kiriko plus Ana or Kiriko plus Baptiste with like Orisa or Sigma could be okay. If you're playing a slower version. If you play fast, I think you could actually try Kiriko Mercy. Because she can like dive, in a sense, right? Or she could actually be played with dive. She can dive with your... Okay, so think about it this way. Let's say you're running like Genji Tracer or Genji Sombra and like Ball. Ball goes in for a slam. Genji goes in and dashes in. You can actually teleport, right, to your dive tanks or your dive heroes and then dive with them and start chucking kunais. And if they're in trouble, you Suzu the ground as they're diving in if they're getting countered, and you heal. But then it obviously puts you in a tough situation. You can't use it as an escape. Honestly, deciding whether to teleport to engage with your team or teleport as a survivability option is actually the biggest skill representation on this hero, in my opinion. Cooldown and teleport, if I remember, is 10 to 15 seconds. I can't remember exactly. What do you have to be touching the ground to get the ult bonus? No, so you can use it with Pharah. Pharah has to be floating and at least touching any part of the blue part of her ultimate. I don't know the exact hitbox, but like the range of her ultimate might be a bit more than the visual says, but it should be similar or close enough to the visual representation. How much does she reduce cooldowns? Her ultimate reduces cooldowns by, it just accelerates at 2x speed. So a 30-second res will be 15 seconds. By which heroes she gets counter or is a counter? I don't think she necessarily has a hard counter because she's kind of slippery. She hard counters anti-effects. She completely nullifies like Ash Dynamite because it heals a little bit, by the way, when you protection Suzu. I don't think they mentioned that. I remember it healing like 20 to 50 HP instantly, and it cleanses. So if Ash Dynamites, you instantly get rid of some of that burst on the people that she dynamited, and it stops the burn. You can cleanse your entire team from the Drunker Queen ultimate, Ana Nade. You can counter Earth Shatter, counter EMP. It's a good ability, don't get me wrong. But the skill representation is just how they use Suzu and how they swift step more than anything. Does it stop knockback from Winston ult? No, it does not. Reinhardt main's about to charge off of cooldown when she uses her team. Yeah, like if a Rein starts his charge cooldown, I mean, Rein has he has 2 fire strikes. If he charges through the gate with the speed, and then he lands on them because the cooldown... Does the charge cooldown begin on charge or at the end of the charge? Because if the cooldown begins on charge, then by the time you finish your charge, if you charge down the gate, then you could accelerate it for the next one. If it's at the end, then it's a little different. Okay. So some interactions might be a little broken, for sure. Swift Steps Town's really buggy. Not too much. You could just tell... So one thing is, like, if you get booped off the map, and you find... It's kind of like Mercy. You have to find someone to GA to, but for her, if you get booped off of, like, I don't know, King's Row 3rd, you just look for your teammate. Even if they're under the map, you just teleport right back to them. You're okay. Does she heal the least from all healers? I wouldn't say the least, but she's definitely not as potent of a main healer at all. I will say that. She has 200 HP. Does her healing hit only one target or can it be multiple? I believe it's one target at a time. So it's pretty forgiving. It's like 6 ammo, but as long as you hold the button and your crosshairs are around, all the papers will follow that person. In order to heal 2 people, you kind of have to like wiggle your mouse. So you have to like hold it here, hold it here. If you have 2 people, you kind of just like fan it around a little bit, but then only like 2 papers on each will heal. I think each paper heals 20 HP. But like I could be wrong. Don't quote me on any numbers because like we didn't have that much time to play. I didn't have much time to test. So there's a cast time on Swift Step. What happens if you step to a Doom using his ult? I mean, he won't be targetable. I think that when you click them, actually good question. Maybe there is a bug on that interaction if he uses ult or phases out. Who knows, honestly. It'll probably just go to his location before he goes up in the air because he's not targetable in the air. Okay, so that's basically it with Kitsune. Kiriko, do you guys have any more questions? Try to answer. If not, then we'll move on to the next video. Does she reload she reloads her papers automatically. Yes. Kunai does not have a drop off. It's a straight line if I remember correctly. All the way. Bandages, whatever you want to call them. You seen any emotes or skins? I have actually, but obviously I can't show you right now. It's all locked away in footage. But they showed 2 of the skins in their gameplay trailer today. Feelings on her character design as a whole. I think she's cool as fuck. She's probably gonna be fun as hell, but I'm not gonna lie. It's probably because I don't have that many hours on her, but when I played her, I was like, okay, she's cool. And I was doing okay. And then it was King of the Hill. The next round, I played Baptiste. I just did like 50 times more on Baptiste. I got way more value, but that's probably because I have like 500 hours on Bap now. But yeah. Yeah, the one they teased in the BP trail looks really good. Does EMP destroy the Torii gates? Write that down, Koji. I don't know, actually. Okay, that's it for Kiriko. Let's switch videos to season 1.
We're in this together, all of us.
Let's get this started.
New heroes. 3 new heroes. Everybody gets Sojourn. Everybody gets Junker Queen. Everybody here who's playing Overwatch 1 will get Kiriko, but obviously moving forward with new heroes afterwards, you can only unlock it through playing the game and getting it at level 55 of the Battle Pass or buying the Premium Battle Pass. We'll talk about Battle Pass stuff in a bit and my thoughts on it. You don't have to agree with my take. It's fine. 80 things in the Battle Pass. Epic skins. These are free on the Battle Pass. Okay. So on the free Battle Pass, Kiriko level 55. I don't know what level you get this Winston or Cassidy skin. All these new charms to add to your weapon.
It's all connected.
If you like those. Upgrade to premium, 80 total tiers. Then you'll get like if you buy premium, you get a couple of goodies right from the get-go. So if you buy premium, you'll instantly skip level 55 and you'll get the new hero instantly. You'll get this Pachamari charm. You'll get this Diva EDM skin, which kind of hits fucking hard, man. That's I've seen this like this like thing. I've seen those people on YouTube where they press it and they make like a whole song from these buttons. I don't know what the fuck that's called, but this Rave Diva kind of hits different, man. I don't know. This is a fucking nice skin. Charms hang on the weapon. That's right. Okay, legendary skin. That's a Kiriko skin. It's a MIDI. Yes, maybe it's called MIDI. This is one of the Kiriko skins. Legendary. That does kind of look like Bangalore. This is the Sojourn skin. Legendary. Camo. I don't know what that's supposed to be. That's a Pharah skin. Another legendary one. Okay. That's the legendary Mercy skin as well. Looks good. These are some of the weapon charms you can hang on your weapon. Looks kind of good. These are sprays if you're into sprays. Oh, they're called launch pads. MIDI? Oh. Ooh, look at that. I love the blue. Souvenirs. I actually don't even know what souvenirs are exactly. Oh, I think those are the things that you can like put over your head. Kind of like an emote, maybe? I don't remember what a souvenir is exactly. Player icons. We know what player icons are. Very good. And then this is the mythic skin, which is on the battle pass. This isn't something you buy. Like, they want people to buy the battle pass, evidently. But this is good value, in my opinion, if you're into cosmetics. Like, I think this will probably be at the end, level tier 80. There's no way they put a mythic skin early. You know how in Valorant, you get a knife at the end of the battle pass? You probably just get this mythic skin if you can finish it. Boom. There's no reason why it went so hard. Boom, look at that animation. No plans to sell it on its own, but it's subject to change. Yeah, so I mean, maybe like 2 years down the line, they'll do like an anniversary event where you can pick up old battle pass mythic skins for a limited time or something. That's not to say they won't do it. Honestly, they might, but then at the same time, they never really brought back Pink Mercy or like Noir Widow. Okay, now we finally get a new limited time event. We get Junkenstein's Revenge, Wrath of the Bride. A new mission. That's a Kiriko skin. That's not Mercy, by the way. That looks fucking sick. So we saw 3 Kiriko skins. Her default, her streetwear. We saw her, where the fuck was it? This one. That's a skin. That's a skin. That'll probably be in the Halloween event. Yeah.
The world
New weekly bundles. We got fucking RGB Echo.
always use.
What is that? Like Greedy Scrooge? Mustache. He's got like the... He seems like a... I don't know. He seems kind of good. Oh, it's Addams Family. Okay, I totally fucked it up. I didn't realize that was an Addams Family thing. I called it Greedy Junkrat. It's unsalted salt. Don't fucking kill me. Oh, it's Gomez Addams. Okay, man, I haven't watched Addams Family since I was a kid.
More healing.
And then this one. I called this one fucking tie-dye Lucio in my video. I don't know what the fuck they would call this one. Because it just... This pastel color just made me think of that. There's probably a better reference, but I just made it up. In my video summary.
More heroes.
Okay. That's the new map. They actually talk about the new map in their article. Rise up, heroes. Oh, there's a new skin. Okay, so they mentioned in the blog, which we'll get to in a bit, but it's cyberpunk themed season 1. They have themed seasons. Okay? Themed seasons. Roadhog cyberpunk, Widowmaker, Kiriko. Look at this guy. Look at this like cool like mysterious detective Sojourn, cyberpunk Hanzo. I mean, you guys could tell from the mythic skin, the Genji. It was cyberpunk Genji, right? Very good. And then obviously an ad for them to buy Watchpoint pack. Are those BP skins? That I'm not sure, to be honest with you. Maybe shop exclusive. I mean, if they hint, they said shop here, and these are from the shop. RGB and these don't feel like... I think on the weekly rotating bundles, it won't be themed. I think everything on the battle pass is themed cyberpunk, but don't quote me on this. Yeah, these ones don't fit the cyberpunk theme, so yeah, maybe. When it says Kiriko is free for Overwatch 1 players, does that mean people who bought Overwatch 1? Yes, anybody who has owned Overwatch 1 got the Founders Pack before June 23rd or whatever, automatically, as long as you've logged in once before December. Anybody who actually ended up buying Overwatch since June 23rd, 2022 had to have bought it through the Watchpoint pack because they stopped selling it individually. So you would be guaranteed Kiriko no matter what, as long as you've played, or as long as you own Overwatch 1. So that's a given. Premium Battle Pass is $10. 1,000 coins. Okay, so that's that trailer.